Hi all. After uploading my previous heat pump dryer video to YouTube, I've been inundated with comments and people asking if there's any update to add, so I've made this quick, short video to answer a few of the questions and comments the video received. If you're not familiar with the story, it's worth a quick look at part 1, just to help this video make more sense. But in short, we recently had a new kitchen fitted. We originally had one of those dryers that vented externally, but those are being phased out and replaced by the heat pump dryers, which in theory sound great. Because the heat pump dryers don't need an external vent, you can, in theory, literally place them anywhere in your home, which is great if you can't for some reason vent them externally. But because we had to buy a new dryer, we had no choice but to fit a heat pump dryer. The initial cost of a heat pump dryer compared to an externally vented dryer is much higher. They do use less energy to run, but you'd probably only see a saving after many years of use. They also take longer to dry your clothes. Our externally vented dryer used to dry our clothes in 60 minutes. The heat pump dryer we have now can sometimes take around 5 hours. Heat pump dryers are also designed to switch off before the clothes are fully dry. This apparently is to help reduce static and prevent damage, but this has often left us with clothes that have been folded and put away slightly damp and start to smell musty. I'd have much preferred to fit a vented dryer, but because none were available, it had to be a heat pump dryer that was fitted. So when we had the kitchen designed, they left the required space for us to fit an integrated dryer. The reason behind making the first video was that we were experiencing a lot of moisture and condensation coming from the dryer. This was more obvious when fitted, but it was also happening when the appliance was left running in the middle of the kitchen, away from all the cupboards. We weren't getting any reasonable help from the manufacturer, so I turned to YouTube to see if anyone could offer any advice. So continuing on from part 1, this is where we're currently at. This is the machine in question. Our initial concern was that there was hot air coming out from the sides and the front of the dryer. This caused condensation to form on the front of the door, and the hot air from the sides was causing condensation to form on the sides of the cupboard, and water was pooling on the newly laid floor. An engineer was called, we had several parts replaced and even received a replacement machine. Since the last video, we've had quite a few visits from different engineers. I think in total we've had the machine replaced 3 times, could even be 4, I've lost track. We've had several seals replaced to see if that fixed the issue. We've also had new seals replaced because they had perished, which is crazy really because the machine was only a few months old. We've had engineers tell us we've been using incorrect settings, although it made zero difference to the problem when we started using the recommended settings. We've also found out that these dryers aren't designed to dry clothes fully, and that a percentage of water is left in the clothes to help reduce static. We found this out after contacting Hire because the clothes we'd dried and put away had started to smell musty. We've also received countless numbers of letters, text messages and emails telling us to stop using the dryers because some had a known fault that could cause a fire unless a particular part was swapped. But despite the several new machines, despite the numerous new parts replaced, and despite the various ways of operating the actual machine itself and experimenting with different programs, the original problem still exists. The machine is still causing condensation issues, and that's still causing us problems. When the machine is operating, hot air is released through the casing of the machine, and some also escapes around the edges of door. We've been told this is normal and helps to prevent pressure build up inside the machine. This causes the humidity to build up in the kitchen, which in turn affects the rest of the house. I've had comments saying that the dryer isn't designed to be placed in between kitchen cupboards, and I need to look for an integrated machine. Just to confirm, this is an integrated dryer and is advertised as being suitable for integration, as can be seen on the Hire website. I think the handbook recommends a 12mm gap around the machine, but I stand to be corrected. This is an integrated dryer and is supposedly designed to fit in between kitchen cupboards, and there is of course the cupboard door to take into consideration too. But even when the dryer is placed into the middle of the room, the hot air and moisture is still being released. Even if it was possible for us to have a bigger gap around the sides of the cupboard, the condensation would still form once the hot air reaches the sides of the cupboard. The amount of water it leaves on the sides of the cupboards and underneath the worktop is crazy. You're instructed to leave the cupboard door open for ventilation. At one point, ours got accidentally knocked and it shut. It didn't take long for the entire cupboard to fill up with condensation, as well as adjacent cupboards, and we ended up having to isolate the electricity so we could safely dry off the machine, as there was water all over the machine, all over the floor, and all over the contents of both adjacent cupboards. There is a template to cut a hole in the kickboard to allow for ventilation, but I had to make the kickboard removable because this was also getting really damp. It makes cleaning filters much easier, but from what the engineers have told us, many people aren't even aware there's a filter down there, and is often a cause of many problems which are discovered when the engineers are called out to fix people's appliances. It's a really poor, thought-out design. We've obviously discussed these issues with Haier and the engineers, and unfortunately, despite these obvious issues, Haier have said there's nothing they can do, it's out of their hands, and have refused to offer any further repairs. So at this point you're probably assuming we've got rid of the dryer and replaced it with another make and model. Unfortunately, that's not the case. From what we've been told, and from what we've seen when searching for a new dryer, many of the different machines available seem to be built with the same parts and same shells. They're just branded differently. You can literally buy 2 different makes and models and find they look almost identical, other than the name on the front. So, whilst the dryer seems to be more hassle than it's worth, for us, there doesn't seem to be a better alternative, and we're stuck with the dryer. There's been suggestions of placing the dryer in another room of the house and moving it away from any cupboards. We tried that, and unfortunately the humidity in that room increased significantly because you can't stop the hot air escaping from the sides of the dryer. So whilst you may not be getting water running down adjacent cupboards, you're left with a room with high moisture content, and potentially you're creating an environment for mold to thrive. People have suggested opening windows, which may help in the summertime, but during the colder months of the year, opening windows can significantly increase the moisture content of a house and increase the issue further. We've even tried aiming fans at the dryer to help ventilate, but that made little, if any, difference. There's been quite a few people with the same or similar dryers who told me they initially thought they had 0 problems, but then said afterwards that they'd checked inside the cupboard an hour or so after the machine started, and they too had discovered issues with wet surfaces. The engineers had also said that they had been to many a job where the underside of the countertop was dripping with moisture. The bottom line is this. Heat pump dryers in theory are great, but unfortunately some, like this one, seem to be designed in such a way that all of the hot, moist air isn't recycled and some is allowed to escape, particularly around the sides of the machine. This has been confirmed to us by several engineers and therefore can cause condensation issues regardless of whether it's placed inside a cupboard like ours or whether it's placed in the middle of a well-ventilated room. If you're buying a dryer or already have a heat pump dryer, cleaning the filters regularly is extremely important. On this model, there are 2 filters. The one inside the door is easy enough to clean, but be mindful that you will need regular access to any filters that may be poorly positioned behind the kickboards. It's also worth double-checking the settings on the dryer, as some settings may leave a higher percentage of moisture in the clothes, which might not become apparent until you discover the clothes you put away have gone musty. We find the only way to fully dry our clothes is to run each load twice, which not only takes longer, but also bumps up running costs. It's also worth noting that machines like this will require the cupboard door to be open when the machine is running, so bear that in mind, especially if you have little ones running around, because if the door is accidentally shut, it can cause a whole host of problems. If you have a heat pump dryer and it's inside a cupboard like ours, and you have no issues whatsoever with condensation or moisture appearing on the sides of the cupboards when the machine has warmed up, please let me know in the comments, because it may provide me or others with a better alternative than the dryer I currently have.